With me now is retired FBI Special Agent Vic Hartman. He is now an attorney in Atlanta where he specializes in internal investigations and forensic accounting. And Hartman is also the author of the book, The Honest Truth About Fraud, a former FBI agent tells all. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, while you were in the FBI, you oversaw the execution of numerous search warrants, and you have also been responsible for reviewing them to make sure they are legal. So it's fair to say you have a deep understanding of how FBI agents go about obtaining one of these warrants. I know you weren't involved in this one specifically, but given your experience, walk us through what likely happened to get this kind of warrant for Mar-a-Lago.
Sure. Case agents, FBI agents, are well tuned of the requirements of a search warrant, and it's based in the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, of searches and seizures. But for a search and seizure, if the case agent thinks, well, I want to pursue a search warrant, he knows that, or she knows that you're going to have to go through an independent, neutral magistrate judge, a federal magistrate judge, and get that approved. Constitutionally speaking, there are three things that need to be proved. There has to be probable cause, that's a reasonable belief, that there's evidence of a crime, so that a crime has been committed and that there's evidence located somewhere. And then the third piece you have to prove is that that evidence is located in a particular place. So you work up this affidavit, it could be 50 to 100 pages, sometimes longer. I don't know what it'll be in this case. And you gather information. It's kind of a summary of your investigation. And you may have informants. I know there's some reporting from the Wall Street Journal that informants were used in this case. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So if you have an insider in Mar-a-Lago that's snapping pictures of different rooms and locations, and it's time-stamped, so you know that you have maybe a violation of classified information, theft of government records, or the Presidential Records Act of 1978. These are some of the predicate offenses that could be used to obtain a search warrant. So you would gather all your information, put it in a draft, and in a normal case, you would then send that over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, where a prosecutor reads it, and they often rework and draft most of the affidavit. The case agent is going to swear to it that every fact is true in there. So the case agent and the federal prosecutor collaborate, and they produce this affidavit. That's how normal cases work. And
so now that this search has happened and that warrant has been executed, what happens now and with whatever was obtained in that search? Who gets to see that?
Well, we don't know what it is. If it's documentary evidence or electronic devices, there could be some of those. Those are currently probably located in the Miami Field Division, and those will be now reviewed, assessed, and see if it's consistent with the theory of the case. So those documents will retain in the possession of the government until such time as this case gets charged. Now, there's two ways that Donald Trump could get at these. He could file a motion and say, I want the return of the records. And he may do that to try to get a look at this affidavit. The affidavit is not disclosed at this point. And then he may also get indicted at some point down the road. And then through a process called discovery, then the defendant would get access to the affidavit.
Since that search, we have seen reports of an uptick in threats against the FBI, potentially against FBI agents. How concerned does that make you?
I'm very concerned. I mean, I think this has the ability to just spiral out of control. It really needs to be managed closely by the Department of Justice and the FBI to whatever they can do. Donald Trump could step in if he so chooses to de-escalate this. I've seen no signs of that. But I'm very concerned about going after the magistrate judge who signed the warrant is now under threats. The Director Ray of the FBI, the Attorney General, FBI agents in general. That's no place to handle these grievances in the streets. It's in a courtroom. The frustrating thing is that wheels of justice move slowly. I understand that. But everything will come out in the courtroom. And everything will see the light of day, and Donald Trump's legal team will have the chance to challenge every piece and every step and everything that was done in this case. That's the way to address these grievances is in the courtroom. But I am very concerned that this has the potential to spiral out of control nationally.
We're also hearing rhetoric about defunding or dismantling the FBI. How do you look at that? Do you just consider that to be political talk, or Are you concerned that is something that could actually be pursued?
Well, it starts with political talk and then it become action. The concept of defunding law enforcement is just crazy to me. In the case of the FBI, there's 13,000 plus FBI agents. They have jurisdiction over terrorism, foreign counterintelligence, drugs, white-collar crime, just a whole plethora of federal offenses that are very serious. Do you really want to defund, to punish the FBI because they've initiated investigations that are unpopular, so we're going to defund them? So that makes no sense on its face. But this should be taken again in the courtroom. Let's air our disputes legally and factually of what's happening in these cases and challenge them in a court of law, not in the streets.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for today. Vic Hartman, former FBI special agent, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.